And welcome. All right. Well, so I've been off a couple nights, not on purpose, but what was it? Thursday night, I had technical difficulties. My computer was just acting really slow, and I just didn't feel like troubleshooting, rebooting, whatever I needed to do. So I called it off because, quite frankly, when you get to midnight and nothing and everything is not going straight ahead the way you want it to, it's easier to just say, "I'm going to bed," than doing a live stream. So I apologize for that. But every day, oops. Looks like everything is coming up on the other streams, which is good. Oh, except on Rumble here. Let me see here. Am I on the right one? There it is. Okay, good. Refresh this. I'm just checking to see all the channels are up here. This one looks like it's going to no, that's the old one. Where's the new one? I don't know. The Facebook doesn't seem to be working. I wonder why. All right. If you're trying to reach me on Facebook, sorry. Some of these need to be refreshed, which is kind of strange. Okay. So and locals, I'm having trouble with locals that it basically uh only records like the first 30 minutes and then it stops. So YouTube and Rumble are working great. X is working great. So I've got those three channels. So I'll continue troubleshooting and figuring out how this whole thing works. There's also ways to like get a consolidated chat view, which again is like feels like it's got a steep learning curve on it. So I do see the YouTube chats here, and I think I would see Rumble chats here as well. X, I would not necessarily see them unless I'm looking for it. So I will, if you post a comment on there. Let's see here. Did somebody post a comment there? No, nobody's got any comments there. So there's that stream that is working. So if anyone posts any comments there, I'll take a look from time to time, from point to point, from here now and then. Let's see if there's anything there. All right. Um, so that and then last night, I was actually writing and I realized it was like 12:30 and like I had missed it. And I'm like, oh, geez. Well, that was a good thing though, because I was distracted by getting stuff done. So that's always good. Also, getting ready for the big book show. So a week from today, week from yesterday, so September 7th, I am going to be in Chicago at the Printers Row Lit Fest with my friends Jody Sperling and Christopher Talon. Christopher is only an internet friend so far. We've only been friends on Twitter. I haven't met him or talked to him in person. I do have a story inspired by a podcast he and Jody did. It's called The Perfect Wish, about a guy who tracks down a talking shark who grants wishes. And anyway, we are going to be at the Printers Row Lit Fest Saturday and Sunday next weekend, signing books, selling books. Come on by with any purchase. I am going to be giving away the audio book of my new anthology of short stories from the podcast. So, Charlatan's Conundrum and Other Bedtime Stories for Insomniacs will be given to you for free with any purchase. Any purchase. If you buy one of my little $5 books, we'll give you that for free. If you do buy that book, the paperback book, you obviously get it for free as well. In fact, any of my paperback books, the larger size ones, when you purchase them, you get not only the paperback, but the audiobook and the ebook as well. So that is something really I've been doing for the last couple times I've been out doing shows. Um, I find it is a great value. I've always been one to acquire multiple versions of a book because I enjoy having the book and I enjoy listening to the book. So that's where I'm at. So why not make it available for the people that I'm doing? All right. Yeah, what does it say that is this not going here? That's strange. Oh, viewer count. Okay, gotcha. All right. So, what I want to talk about tonight, which I thought would be a great topic, is proofreading. How do you proofread a document? What are the tools available to us? What are we trying to get done with this kind of stuff? And it's one of the banes because I mean we've all been there where we've seen even traditionally published books. You're reading it and you go, "There's a big fat typo here on this page," and here's another one. There's like 8 or 10 typos in this book, and it's supposed to be professionally edited and produced and all this kind of stuff. So it's really easy to miss stuff. And part of that is psychological. When you are reading something, your brain is helping you out. And if there's something that's wrong, it'll just fill in what it's supposed to be for you. So if you're reading through and there's like a word missing, your brain will automatically fill it in for you as you're reading it to yourself. And you miss it. And it's like unless you're doing something like reading it backwards or something like that, you're gonna just reading the page and with the pen and making marks, you're gonna miss stuff because your brain is trying its hardest to trick you. Uh, what you see, everyone kind of believes that what they see is reality, is pure fact. But the fact of the matter is that your brain evolutionarily is designed to do a whole bunch of things to sort of trick you. So seeing things that sort of like fill in gaps for you, that's one of the things, but there's also, you being able to see things that are dangers, signals and stuff like that. So all of these evolutionary forces that have shaped how our visual system works with our brain is it's not designed to just take in the stimulus from the outside world and process it exactly as it is. It's designed to make it so that you will uh, react to it in an optimal fashion. So, how do you stop your brain from tricking you? Well, one of the ways I found is to read it out loud. So when you're doing a proofreading run on your book, don't just read it out loud. Read it out loud, do the voices, put the characters in your head, and you will catch 90% of the errors that you would miss just by reading alone. Okay, so now I'm saying you're catching those 90% of errors that you would get by reading it alone. How do you get the last 10%? Here's where the other part of the process comes in. As you're reading it, record it. Record it. You can record it on your phone. You can record it on your computer. You don't have to do anything fancy. I re- I'm doing my final proofread basically when I'm ready to record the audiobook. So I've gone through it, I've read it out loud, and I've proofread it, and now I'm reading it out loud one last time to proofread it while I'm recording it. Every chapter I record, I then play back immediately, and I follow along with the text as I'm listening to it to make sure that all the words I'm saying are on the page and are the right words. And so here you're using three different parts of your brain or three different processes that your brain uses. You're using the visual because you are um, seeing the words on the page. You're using the vocal because you are translating those words into sounds. And then you're using the auditory, where you are now listening to sounds and translating them back into words. So that process of seeing, translating it into sound, taking that sound and translating it back into words, and seeing it again, that full trip will get you to 99.99% of typos. Amazingly, I still find stuff that I miss. I'm like, what else do I need to do? Well, that's where your computer grammar checkers come in handy. Now, Microsoft Word has one that's pretty good. I use one called, God, what is it called? Hold on a second. I forget what it's called. It is a pro writer's aid, pro writing aid. So I use a program called Pro Writing Aid. And let me show you what that looks like here. Go ahead and share this on my screen. Window. Okay, and we're gonna do presentation mode here. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, I got it right this time. Okay. So notice when I click on my page here. Oh, you can't see it actually. There's actually a little pop-up that shows up here. Oh, that's interesting. It's not showing up. Let me do this. I'm gonna share my screen instead of this. Let me stop this here. Stop that. And then I'm gonna come over here. Do. Get rid of all this stuff on my screen. And then I'm going to resize the screen so you guys can see it more easily. Display settings. There we go. Let me change the resolution to HD. Okay. Changes. And then we got that. Okay, cool. All right, now let me see if I can share my whole screen here. So I'm going to share entire screen, screen one, share. There we go. And now when I click over here, there we go. This is what I want you to see. So this little icon here. So this is part of a product that Pro Writing Aid has. There's a standalone Pro Writing Aid, but they've got a product that you get when you buy the Pro Writing Aid called Pro Writing Aid Everywhere. And it's exactly what it means. It will inject itself into any of your um, word processing programs. I use Scrivener. I use Scrivener because I like the way that it lets me organize my chapters here. And so I can go from chapter to chapter without having to scroll through a giant document. And then at the end of it, I can then take things like my front matter here and my back matter and compile it into a manuscript or even a Word document. Maybe we'll show you that some night. I've actually got a great article on this on Medium that I need to update for version 3 of Scrivener, but it's pretty much the concepts all apply. All right. So here you can see that I've got all of these things set up here. So right here, I've got general fiction set up here. You can change it to thriller, which is my current genre, which I'm going to do here. And you can see here that I get this kind of little window here that pops up that shows me different things, but I also see the suggestions here in my screen. Now, uh, this is awesome, but you can't just rely on this because if you just like take all of the options here, it's just going to be crazy, right? All right, readability may be enhanced by using what? So UberApp hits the menu button that gives them various options as to what to do about the ride. Various options what to do about the ride. So that one, see, readability is not enhanced by that. So I'm going to ignore that one. It's about to hit the writer not show up button option when he decides to make one. So here I got a possibly unnecessary comma. These ones I generally take because I think I tend to overuse commas. Sometimes it will suggest a semicolon. I do not use semicolons in my fiction. That's just a personal preference. I know other people do. I do use M dashes, the big dashes to like change the flow of a sentence. But semicolons, I don't find, I don't really like them in fiction. I don't see them a lot in fiction. So me using them just doesn't make as much sense. All right. So I got that when he decides to make one final sweep of the area. So when he so this case here, when he decides to there's I need that process in there, that doesn't make anything. One last sweep, one final sweep. Stronger adjective than final. Decides to make one last yeah, I like that suggestion. I'm gonna go with that one. Waste not da da da. Okay. So this is my sort of my my grammar pass, right? So when I'm proofreading, I make lots of passes, right? I will do the writing pass where I go through right now. I'm in that process here where I'm like on the last draft of this manuscript, but I'm going through it and there's actually a couple little chapters I'm going to change or some parts I'm going to tighten up. But for the most part, I am like getting close to the final thing here. All right. So a lot of times I'll read it out loud to myself too while I'm doing it at this stage. Steers back in the direction he came from, keeping his eyes peeled in front of him. Something scampers through the beams of his headlight in front of him. A dog? A coyote? So here now I can I this is one thing where reading aloud makes me hear this in front of, right? Something scampers through the beams of his headlights. Of course it's in front of him. That's where headlights are. I don't need to repeat that in front of him phrase here. Again, but that wasn't caught by the grammar checker. Grammar checker, I don't know if I actually have an option for that. Let me check here, see if they've got like a repeated phrases thing here. What are the settings that we got? Combo reports, overused words. So I got overused word settings here, dialogue settings, repeat settings. Oh, here we go. Maximum characters for highlight repeats. Repeats are more that are more characters apart. Minimum phrase length, minimum phrase occurrence. So wait a minute here. I should have caught this one. Hmm. Oh, I get to choose my favorite author. I think for the thriller, I may not go with Orson Scott Card. Let's see here. Who's a good thriller writer? Are they on here? Clancy. This isn't really a military thriller, but that's okay. You guys recognize? Oh, Ludlum. That might be more appropriate here. Ludlum Cornwell. I'll go with Ludlum for now. See who else is in here. Agatha Christie, Tam McCaffrey, Dan Brown. Ooh, that might be a good one to go for. Because Ludlum's kind of old. Dan Brown's a little bit more contemporary. I think I'll go with him. All right, good. All right. Anyway, that's where you set the settings. Save settings. So like your settings are saved on the internet, which is kind of weird, but that's okay. All right. So here I'm back at this. Okay. Another one follows. A blur of fur and shadow as it dips by. Dave hits the brakes, waiting for any more of the nocturnal wanderers. Uh, nocturnal wanderers. See, this sounds a little bit like, oh God, I'm trying to be impressive with my vocabulary. So this is where I would scratch this out if I had a red pen with me, waiting for any more creatures. Just say that, any more creatures to clear the roadway. A rapid knock on the driver's side window causes Dave's heart to nearly leap out of his throat. Okay, driver's side window, that makes sense. There's a face. There's a face in the window, obviously. Bearded and smiling. Dave looks out at him, his initial fright shifting to caution and curiosity. The man holds up the phone, showing the writer's version of the Uber app, indicating his driver, Dave, has arrived. Dave opens the window. Are you Dave? He asks. Yeah. Roger. Did I scare you? I'll let you know when I get home and change my shorts, Dave jokes. Roger laughs. Sorry, reception out here is spotty. And here's a possible comma splice. So this is something that I do quite frequently too. I will put a comma when I need to put a period in there. And so this grammar checker catches that for me very well. I kept losing the call. Hop in, Dave says. Thanks, Roger replies. He opens the rear back door on the driver's side, and slides across the back seat. The rear door. The re- yeah, the rear door. It's not. That's not a rear back door, it's a rear door. Dave starts to write on the app and waits for the route, his destination to show up on Google Maps. He checks out his mysterious passenger in the rearview mirror. What are you doing out here? He asks. I think this place is officially closed after sunset. All right, so now here is two where I wanted to actually insert a bit here. What I was thinking of doing is adding a little bit of a scene here where before he meets the guy, uh, he actually a cop pulls up, hears sirens and scares him, and he's like, "You're not supposed to be out here. Or how'd you get in here?" And all this other kind of stuff. So I'm gonna try and write that scene right now. So live writing here, right on the live stream. More creatures to clear the roadway. When he's sure it's clear, he lets off the brake. But before he has a chance to press on the accelerator, which I spelled wrong. I know that. Spell checker. I love you, spell checker. Accelerator. Accelerator. So now here he before he presses on the accelerator. Now I like before he has a chance to press on the accelerator, comma, a siren sounds and flashing blue and red lights fill his rear view mirror. His foot automatically slams back down on the brake. He slips the car into park and rolls down the driver's side window. Getting a ticket was not part of the night's plan. Okay. It's not part of the night's plan. So I'm writing this in present tense. I write my thrillers in present tense because I've read lots of books that are in present tense, and it gives you that sort of urgency, like you're in the moment, you're in the action, and I think it creates more of that page turning feeling for this kind of stuff. All right, let me actually move this over a little bit so you guys can see this. There we go. All right, getting a ticket is not part of the night's plan. He wonders if it will wipe out all of his evening's earnings and how he'll explain it to Carol, his wife. After a minute or two, police officer approaches, shining a flashlight in Dave's face. License and registration, sir. Registration, sir. Dave pulls out his wallet and Digs out the registration. Oh, and takes out the insurance. I'm gonna do insurance. It's only they don't actually ask for registration more. It's insurance. License and insurance. Digs out the insurance document from the glove compartment. He hands papers, hands the documents to the officer. What are you doing out here? The officer asks. He asks. I'm Ubering, Dave explains, pointing at the phone mounted on his dashboard. I'm supposed to pick someone up around here. The park is closed at night. How'd you get in here? Drove around the gate. How did you get in here? See how that grammar checker really helps me catch that stuff here. Drove around the gate. Gate. Dave confesses. You didn't read the sign? I did, but Google insisted my fare was on the other side. I didn't think I would be going far. The officer shines his light into the back seat. Where's your fare? Dave shrugs. Can't find him. Mm-hmm. Right here. So when you write this is something that I'm always kind of like curious about. And so I may do something like let's see if I can find that over here. Let's see here. Let's see. How do you write? Oh, there you go. Look at that. Is written with two M's on either side of a hyphen and then a single H followed by two more M's. Oh, it's a palindrome. Look at that too. The dash between the. There you go. How about that? Okay, learn something new. Copy that over here. So let's see if the spell checker recognizes that. Wait here. See, it doesn't even recognize it. Or does it? No, no, it does. No. So this is actually when it's the red squiggle, this is the Scrivener spell checker. And so my regular spell checker is recognizing it. But look, let's see here. Let's get different versions of it here. But I'm going to go with the Merriam-Webster version. I'm told to learn the spelling. Learn spelling. There we go. Wait here. He walked back to his car, his squad car. Do people still call it squad cars? Squad car. All day waited, watched him in his side. That side view mirror? Side view mirror. Now, why isn't side view? Side view is hyphenated, huh? See, this is where I'm curious again. Side view mirror. So when I look for this here, I usually, let's see here, define. So this usually gives me like a dictionary thing here. Side view mirror. Yep, see, it's hyphenated. So a rear view mirror is not hyphenated, but side view mirror is, right? So if I look up rear view mirror, not hyphenated. So why is rear view mirror not hyphenated, but side view is? I don't know. Kind of interesting. But now you know. Put that in there. They've watched him in a side view mirror. He heard the rear passenger side door open. Felt the car shift as someone got in and slammed it shut. You, Dave? Turned around and saw a bearded man sitting in his car. His heart already racing after the police siren. Was nearly jumping out of his chest. Sorry, the man said. I didn't mean to scare you. All right, so we got that. Oh, I kind of like that joke. Sorry. Did I scare you? All right, and I'm going to come down here, delete all this. So we don't know that it's Roger yet. You're going to have to wait a minute. All right. So why is it giving me curly? See how it's doing like the quotation marks differently here? There's a setting for this. Let's see, document, convert, is it edit, transformations, convert quotes to straight quotes. So I like to just put straight quotes in here, and then when I compile it, it'll automatically convert to the curly quotes. So you got opening and closing quotes, which are different in certain fonts. So when you're typesetting, you always want to use the curly quotes, the opening and closing quotes, so that they're designed to work with your font when you're creating the text for typesetting for paperback publishing, right? All right, but for just writing, I like to just keep it simple here. What's this little thing here for? Start 3 sentences with the same word. I did he? Did I? No, I didn't. That must be left over from something else. Oh, here it is. I kept losing the call. My name is Roger. That doesn't sound right. You're gonna have to wait a minute. I think I'm getting it. I'll take it. Sorry. Oh, let's see. Oh, sorry about that. No, he just said sorry. He's saying sorry a lot. I can't hear him say that. Oh, jeez. Mean to get you into trouble. Police officer. Returned. Handed Dave's license and registration back to him. Okay. My fault. Officer. Dave's passenger said. The cop took a step back and reached for his holstered weapon. The man threw his hands into the air. Where'd you come from? I'm the guy who requested the Uber, he explained. I had no idea he wasn't supposed to be here. Wasn't supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. The officer stated. I know. I got lost. I got lost. I'd say I got lost. The officer settled down. Turn his attention back to Dave. Let you. The warning. But don't ignore those signs. I'll drop the warning. Warning this time. But pay attention to the signs. I will. Dave promises. So here I'm just trying to like getting in the past tense. He explains. Let me go back and do that. Why didn't you guys say anything? Nobody noticed I was writing in past tense when I just made a whole big deal about writing in present tense? The thing is my fault, Dave's passenger says. Cop takes a step back. Reaches for his holstered weapon, reaches for his weapon, and throws his hands in the air. Where'd you come from? The officer asks. I'm the guy who requested the Uber, he explains. I had no idea I wasn't supposed to be here. He wasn't supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here, the officer states. I know, I got lost. Sir settles down and turns his attention back to Dave. I'll let you off with a warning this time, but pay attention to the signs. I will, Dave promises. All right, so, yeah, I'm kind of, I may go back and punch it up a little bit more. Maybe there's a couple police cars. We'll figure it out. All right. Anyway, but so that's one of the things too that it doesn't catch is when you change tenses, because obviously you may be using different tenses in dialogue than what you're doing here. So it's not smart enough to do that yet. I'm sure that they'll come up with that at some point where you can say, hey, I want to write this in present tense and make sure that the non-dialogue portion is respecting that tense. So right now you just have to sort of like keep up on your own. All right, where's this one? Oh, here we go. Dave's the officer disappears into his car and drives off. Turning off the flashing lights after he passes Dave. Dave starts to ride on the app and waits for the route to his destination. Here's where I can tighten things up here, right? The route to his destination shows up on Google Maps. He checks out his mysterious passenger in the rearview mirror. Okay, here's where I should be rear view. What are you doing here? Yeah. What are you doing out here? I think this place is officially closed after sunset. Really? Oh, yeah. The whole cop made a whole big deal about it, right? Okay. I didn't come in. I didn't come in. Let's say. I was with a group hiking up the lake shore. A friend of mine is a member of a trekking group, comma splice. They do this hike around Lake Michigan every couple of years. I met up with them in some place called Calumet City. Spent the day hiking up here. We were supposed to be here before it got dark, but there was some construction and a medical detour. Yeah, this is just as good a place as any to catch a ride. Catch a ride. You mean there's a group of people wandering up the beach in the dead of night? Yeah, they were debating whether to pitch their tents here on the beach or go on to a different location. Tell my buddy I had to bail. I've got so much sand in my shoes. Sand in my shoes, comma. I think some of it made its way into my bloodstream. Dave chuckles at the notion. Dave chuckles. Well, I was just about to give up on you when that cop pulled me over. Excuse the Hans. We got 50 more minutes to go here. Do you live in the city? No, no. I have a reservation. I gotta treat myself to a force room and hop the train back to Aurora tomorrow. Dave makes his way back to Lakeshore Drive, and his GPS confidently lays out a blue line from the follow toward a hotel on Superior Street, north of the Loop. Superior Street is capital S. So the Loop, yeah, this is a proper noun location in Chicago, if you're not aware. He tries to get more details out of the writer, but the more Dave talks to him, the quicker he wants to get him to his destination. The whole story of some group hiking along the lake shore starts to fall apart the more Dave asks him about it. More, more Dave asks about it, especially the notion of hiking in the dark along public beaches. Dave isn't well versed on the Chicago shoreline, but he knows enough that trying to follow the beach was likely impossible. Such an expedition would likely have held to the paths that the walkers, joggers, and bikers used during the day. They arrive at the hotel, and Roger steps out. Dave drives off, but notices in his rearview mirror that the man doesn't go into the hotel, but rather crosses the street and disappears into an alley. He decides, probably a good time to call the night. The later the hour, it seems the later the hour, the crazier the people. Okay, what is this one here? The later the hour seems later the hour. The later, no, I think that's right. You can ignore that one too. The crazier the people. Dave reaches for his phone to shut down the app when a ride request flashes onto the screen. He hesitates for a moment, then taps the accept button. What the hell? How bad could it be? All right. So, by the way, this is my novel, The 10th Ride. This is a thriller. It's in the I think I mentioned the other night. It's in the same series as my first thriller, The Dead Kids Club. In that they are loosely connected by a ancillary character named Eddie Horn, who's a crime writer. So in this one, uh, Eddie's going to get a little bit more directly involved in the action, but it's still sort of the same premise where we're seeing the story from Dave's point of view and his family, but Eddie is there on the side, and he finds himself in the middle of a huge story that he really can't write about because danger. All right. Dave arrives at the pickup location, a bar near the L tracks where they intersect Diversity Avenue. He pulls up to the curb, informs the app that he has indeed arrived, and peers out at the small crowd of people huddled in front of the bar, checking their phones. A couple of them make eye contact, check his license plate against that of the one displayed on their screens, and turn their gazes down the street, looking for the next car that looks like it's slowing down near the bar. A couple stumbles out, slowing down. Okay, so here's one that's like this is where you got something that's kind of thing. All right, so I don't want to say the bar twice here. Let me get rid of that. A couple stumbles out of the bar. The next car looks like it's slowing down. I think that's fine. I don't need to say near the bar. We know we're near the bar. But this is so when you see this orange line here, it says consider simplifying this very complex sentence. So sometimes you can suggest rephrases and you'll get like options for this. So like some of them lock eyes, compares license plate to the ones on the screens, and scan the street for the next car that seems to be slowing down. That one's nice. Two of them make eye contact, compares license plate to the one on their screens, and search for the next car that appears to slow down. A few of them exchange glances matching. I like the first one. So let's see if it actually is going to consider this less complex. All right, for the next car that seems to slow down, seems to be slowing down. I think I'll keep that. All right, so that got rid of the major complexity of that, and I'm happy with this. Some of them lock eyes with Dave. Compare his license plate to the one on their screens, then scan the street for the next car. A couple stumbles out of the bar. The man has one arm cinched around his girlfriend's waist and holds a brown paper sack in the other. He scans the cars at the curb and starts walking toward Dave's. Dave rolls down the window. "You Dave?" he asks. "Yep. You're Adam?" "Yeah," he grunts. Then he reaches for and opens the passenger side rear door. Opens the rear passenger. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna change it around. Rear passenger side door. I wonder why it's not telling me to use the possessive here like it did on the driver's side. Rear passenger door. Opens the rear passenger door. Hmm. All right. He helps the woman into the back seat. She immediately lies down. Adam lifts her head, then slides inside, setting the girl's head on his lap and the bag down on the floor of the car. He slams the door shut and the girl moans disapprovingly. "I'm hungry," she complains. "We'll be home in a minute," Adam assures her. Dave starts the ride and notices that, according to Google, the destination is about 15 minutes away. According to Google, see, a comma, missed that one, is about 15 minutes away. He mentally kicks himself for not grabbing some Ziploc bags from the kitchen and stuffing them in the pockets behind the front seats. Definitely the last ride, in case of barfing. I think that's too big of a callback for us to remember exactly what's going on there. All right, so definitely the last ride of the night, he activates the option he recently discovered in the app that tells it he's offline after this ride and pulls out into the sparse early morning traffic. The route takes him off the main avenues and onto the side streets, which, much to his dismay, comma, are dotted with speed humps and stop signs. Okay, dotted, have, what's a good word for a lot of? Have an excessive amount of speed humps and stop signs. He pauses at the stop signs rather than executing a full stop and bounces over the humps as fast as he dares, balancing the urgency to get these people out of his car as quickly as he can without damaging it. I don't need to do that. Okay, so if I can split that up. Okay. Dave, he balances the urgency of getting urgency to get these people out of his car before one of them vomits with avoiding damage to his car. Okay, so let's see how that goes. He balances the urgency to get these people out of his car before one of them vomits with avoiding damage. People home before one of avoiding damage to the car. Okay, there we go. That's better. The app signals a change in destination. We need to make a quick stop, Adam explains. Sure, no problem, Dave says, smiling while looking forward to giving Adam a single star on his passenger rating. The reroute takes him back in the direction they came from, and if not for the precarious condition of his female passenger, he wouldn't mind the extra minutes and miles added on to the trip. I'm hungry, the woman declares again. She sits up, reaches for the bag on the floor, and opens it up. The aroma of what Dave would guess to be a fully loaded Chicago style hot dog fills the car. So this is why you sort of reading out loud while you're working on it too helps catch those little things. The woman extracts it. So I've got to slip back in the past tense from the bag and peels back the foil paper wrapper. The bag peels back the foiled paper wrapping and takes a bite. Oops, she says with a mouthful. Dave grips his steering wheel tightly, imagining mustard stains and pickle juice soaking into his upholstery. Watch it, Adam warns. You want some? The girl asks, holding the hot dog up to Adam's face. He pushes her hand away. No! Dave hears condiments rain down, hoping the mess stays mostly on the floor. They arrive at Adam's destination. I'll be right back, Adam says to Dave. He pushes the girl over so she leans against the car door on her side. Stay here. She leans. He gets it. She takes. Uh, she looks out at where they are. She looks out at where they are. I didn't want to say lean again. She looks out at where they are. Hey, are you going to Zed's? Yeah, he says and repeats. Stay here. Get me some X, she says, and some of that Colorado weed. I'm just getting the usual, he assures her. Shit, Dave thinks to himself. I'm, I'm in the middle of a drug deal? What the hell? And some M. The girl adds, fuck it, I'm coming with you. You'll screw it up. She slides across the back seat, leaving her hot dog behind. We'll be 2 minutes, Adam promises. I'll be here, David assures him. Thanks, man. No worries. Adam and the girl walk up to a house with a wrought iron fence around it. He pounds on the door, and a moment later, someone opens it, and they disappear inside. Dave hits the gas and accelerates down the street. When he's 2 blocks away, he ends the ride that continues on back toward a main street. He drives toward a main street, a major street. Yeah, Main Street. Toward a major street. I think I'll go with that. He drives about half a mile before he finds a 24-hour drugstore and pulls into the parking lot. Okay, so I'm going to end here, but you get the idea here. So I'm at the stage where I'm proofreading. I'm not at the stage where I'm doing my audiobook version, but I'm reading it out loud as I'm going through this because it helps me identify a couple different things. One, my tense check, right? Because even though I wrote this to be all in present tense and I've read it half a dozen times and I'm sure I got them all, I'm still finding cases where I wrote in past tense. And also finding repeated words. It's a good way to find that. Dialogue that doesn't make sense, all those kinds of things. So, all right, I'm gonna call it a night for you guys tonight, and we will see you later. But I will be back tomorrow night, and um, yeah, I should be good for the rest of the week here. But next weekend, I don't know if I'll be doing a live stream. Maybe I'll see if Jody and Christopher want to join me on the live stream. That might be fun. Um, if they've got their laptops with them, I can just have them join the live stream here. Uh, Figure out how that works. That'll be fun to figure out how to do that. Supposed to be doing an interview with Jody. I haven't heard back from him, so we'll figure that out too. All right. Anyway, that's enough for tonight. Let's see. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm talking about tomorrow. I'll just keep working. May talk more about show prep, the book show prep, to sort of let you guys in on what I'm doing with that. All right. See you later.